Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and today we're going to talk about Reboot Trunks. He is pretty good, honestly. He's a very solid generic blue leader who has its own archetype and a couple of boosts out of the newest Zenkai series. This is actually based on the community post that I put out, the poll to vote basically the next one. So I did two from here, and I'll go ahead and put up another poll to see. I have been really enjoying King Piccolo, so hopefully that will be in contention. But if anything, I think Trunks is, again, not bad. Is it better than Gamma? Is it better than the other blue choices that we've had? Like Super Saiyan 4 Ramp or Super Saiyan 3 Goku, maybe even Zamasu if people even give him a chance. And I think the answer is probably. I think he's up there. Let's talk about the leader first. When I first saw this leader, I thought it was pretty good, but also a little bit of let down because the permanents and some of the effects kind of changed. And after playing it for a while now, I think it is a good change for the most part. I think the, well, basically, if you didn't know, the front side basically says that whenever you take damage or would take life, this also applies to critical, regular take life, burn damage, anything that would give you a card on the opponent's turn, even paying for sparking, it would proc off this effect where you can reveal it and then add it to hand, or basically use the effects that we're going to take a look at in a little bit. It's actually a really interesting mechanic, and I've always liked it. Shout out to Josh, because I knew he played it back then when even it was kind of average. The auto when you swing is that you take a look at the top 5. You get a Saiyan or Earthling card, both blue with an energy cost of 4, basically just saying that it has to be 4 or less and blue. Or a blue unison and specified cost of 2, which we do have a good amount of good blue unisons at this point. And then Awaken is nice because now it's kind of a homage to the original one, and I think this one's better in the way that your life and a player's life has to be at 4 or less, or a player's Z energy has to be at 3 or more, and you untap 1, draw 1. Both of those are really good, and basically it's because when you start defending early on, sure, you would lose that hand size, but now you're going to be Awaken, which you can use to tap 2 to bottom deck and draw 1. Now you can have a 15k leader, and now you're going to be attacking and drawing flat out, and it's nice. It's just nice to be awakened early and defend without too much of a punishment, because you're going to be defending with your hand and comboing and then using that as Z energy if your opponent is not going to be doing the same. And this is that U7 effect where basically we're not taking any life, so we'll see how this one goes. I don't think this one's going to be as problematic as U7. The backside is pretty much the same for the permanent, this time that you do attack and you just draw 1. And then at the end of the turn, instead of the, I think the tap 2, you untap 1 for the original leader. Now you just have a flat out untap 1 mono blue energy, which is nice. It's kind of reminding us of the Crimson Warrior Goku, and as well as Soul Striker. And Soul Striker has just kind of been pushed out ever since he got errated. He was like okay up there, and now he's just like a normal leader at this point. So kind of a bummer, but now you have this effect on Crimson Warrior, technically Soul Striker, and now this deck. So kind of like that that reoccurring theme for a lot of blue decks. We don't really talk about Gamma because they just untap 3. It's just broken that way. The activate main, just like said, you tap 2 blue energy, you draw 1, and then you bottom deck a card. The additional effect is that if you have a mono blue Z card, the one that comes into the starter deck, of 5 or more, this card gets 10k power and double strike. I wish this was an activate main and battle, because then you could just use the double strike in the battle, but is what it is, I guess. We now have some support that comes out of the starter deck. These are all starter deck cards, I do believe. The first 2 are like whatever. I don't know if you guys seen me test with Egg, but when testing these cards, they were just not that great. This one has Deflect on the left, the Trunks, where you pay 2, and if you don't have a unison play, you get to play the Vegeta unison on the middle here. And then activate battle is that if you pay 1 and this card is in battle and there's 1 or more mono blue cards in the combo area, you get to draw 1, which is not bad because you replace the combo. And then this card gains 15k power and double strike. I do like this because it is an activate battle. It doesn't have a barrier or anything like that, so it's probably going to be removed. It's a 10k on their turn. It's a 2 cost, so very easily removed. But it is cool because you can do shenanigans where if they are swinging into it, or if you're swinging with it, and then you have that 17 and 18 unison, you can proc it off, get the free combo from your drop, and then draw 1. So it's just stuff like that. That's pretty cool. What's not cool is that this Vegeta is not that great. It says if you lead a card as a Trunks Future, you place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of the deck. At the start of your opponent's main phase, you get to add 1 card from your hand to your life, and then if you do, you add 1 card from your life to your hand. So you have that recurring effect that doesn't get a marker. It is so stupid that it doesn't have a marker, but whatever, I guess. Activate main, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards that cost 4 or less, and then bottom deck it. This would be a really good unison if there was a +2. If the +2 auto effect was there, awesome. And if you do, you gain the markers type thing. What can I say? Bandai just they give Red 100,000k leader, but they don't give Vegeta a +1 marker, I guess, huh? Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Godly Spirit, the deflect, triple strike, barrier, and blocker. We've seen this one already. It does a lot of stuff. Bottom deck something at the end of the turn, get a free energy, I do believe. No, they have to place 1 at the bottom, and then it is you add a card from life. So there you go, and then add 1 again. Basically the same effects of everything else for future Trunks. I think this card is great because it is a barrier restanding boy and can end games. I think the Vegito is really good because you can ramp throughout the game and then play him pretty early, like turn 3. You can evolve the 8-drop on top of it because it's a barrier and blocker, and at 30k it's really hard to get rid of, so I do enjoy that. That's really all I can really say about it. I haven't really used it too much. A lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but people who played blue decks, or at least this deck I've seen, has said that this Vegito is really good. I don't really see it. I think it's an okay card. All right, moving on to some of the other new cards that came out of the set for this specific deck. We have the 2 Goku and Vegeta. They both have barrier. That is awesome. If you are playing the cool stuff, like the Vegito stuff. There you go. So basically, if it's your opponent's turn, all your energy is mono blue. When it's revealed, you get to play it. So now you have a 9k Goku, and basically by turn 2 you can tap 2. If all your energy is mono blue, you get to place the top card of your deck in energy and rest mode. I don't think these are really worth. I really like the other older cards, but I will have to test these guys out because they basically do the same thing. Tapping 2 energy is not that bad, especially since you'll be able to untap 1. So pretty much everything in this deck is 1 less cost, which is nice. If you combine this with like the Kai Unison or any of the other cards that we took a look at, where you place stuff into your life, it's not that bad. You just have to kind of keep track of it. And having a barrier boys that you can use your Vegito's effect with is not too bad. And you have the option to ramp. So I like these cards. I just haven't played enough of them to say that I would recommend them. Hopeful for a Future is pretty cool because you get to do the same thing that we're doing with the other ones, where you reveal it and play it, and you get to draw 1. And then if you lead a card as a Future Trunks, if your opponent's turn, when this card is used in a combo, you may add 1 energy to your hand. If you do, you add 1 from your hand to your energy. So you basically fix your energy. One of the things that basically the older cards do is that they leave at the end of the turn. I think Hope for a Future is really cool because you get to play it, and then you get to pay 1, and then you basically get the card that was going to leave at the end of the turn, and then place it right back. So pretty cool. I think this is like your own personal Zeno super combo, which is another card that you can use, but haven't really tested it too much. And of course, we have all the old stuff. We have the Kai which kind of really we already know, where you can fix your hand by placing a card into your life and adding a card from your life to your hand, etc., etc., and basically take anything that you know that you have in place. We kind of already know all the other stuff that I've talked about. Basically the ones that draw you a card, which I like. Those are my preference. You don't really need to do that if you really don't want to. I just like the personal quick ramp. Use energy, draw the card, and then get rid of it by using these guys. Both of these guys are free. I like this guy because you get to bottom deck something. You don't have an energy requirement for the permanent, where you can use these guys or whatever into your energy as Union Fusion or Protora, I should say. But this guy has a 4 or more, but it does have Deflect and Barrier, which does come up quite a lot if you're going to be intending to use the 8 drop. Tapion is cool. It is searchable. Both the Kai and the Tapion is searchable by the leader. I just don't see him too useful as far as the main deck. I think he's really good as a side because he ignores their skills basically and places underneath the card. So that's nice. We got the Vegeta, which is one of my personal favorites. I just don't play it. Reoccurring theme, huh? When it's played, your return one of your energy to your opponent's hand, and then add a top deck or top card of your deck to your energy and rest mode. So basically, like the Goku, you get to fix these guys, but you'll run into the issue where these are all really cool cards, but you're devoting a lot to the Vegito engine. And I've kind of discovered, at least for me, that I'll play the cards that I like, and then I'll devote a little bit to the Vegito, and then play it when it actually is nice to play, or at least convenient to play. So there you go. We have a never ending justice, which is so annoying to play against. Man, you basically play this guy just like you would as to reveal from your life, and then you get to play it, and then you get to bottom deck 2, and it's a 15k blocker. Doesn't have Deflect or Barrier, which is annoying, but it would be kind of broken if they had either one of those. It is really good in itself because what happens is that you can use the Kai or really any of the other cards to place into your life, and then on their turn, if you know that they have a good amount of attacks, or if you know that they swung and they have 2 battle cards on the field without Barrier, then you can just D-Magic, take a life if you really wanted to, or even use Chilled Army Reinforcements, the token blockers, where you can go ahead and just take it out of life where the Trunks is, play it out immediately, and then bottom deck 2. Now you have a 15k blocker. So really, really cool. Vegito, the 8 drop, is awesome when it comes out. Not very awesome at any other time. I am very back and forth about this card, and I think what you need to do when you start building a deck is that you have to decide, hey, do I want a mono blue generic good leader, or do I want to play the Vegito stuff? I went with the Vegito stuff because I really like it. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I think a really good player, and as well as just a really good deck builder, would probably top with this deck with or without the Vegito. I can almost guarantee you that in the future. All right, back to some of the other support that we have. Really cool Z cards, honestly. This is a whole Z Zenkai series, so it makes sense that we have some cool stuff. This guy is nice because you get to, at the end of the turn, bottom deck of 5 costs, and then at the activate main is if your leader is a mono blue, you get to discard a 1 extra card, which is not that bad in this deck. This is made for the Afterlife Goku, but it has critical, and you get to draw 1 card, so you get to replace that card itself. The only bad part of it is that you have 3 energy for it, or 3 Zen energy, which is like blah, too much, honestly, especially when these guys are 2. I don't really like the mine too much. Basically, when you attack, you get 15k for the turn, and then if you have 1 or more activate main, 1 or more Z energy for future Trunks. I said all that backwards. This is your next opponent's turn. Next time they attack with a battle card of 5 or more, you have to negate it at the start of the battle step, offensive step, whatever. Basically, you just negate it. And I haven't really found too much use for this other than just having another negate in your hand. I guess this is just like a negate on a stick, just like how you would have the Vegeta as a negate or a self-awakener on a stick, the 1-drop black Vegeta. So pretty cool, I guess. Not too bad, especially if they can't really interact it with it, since it is a floating effect. So there you go. This 3-drop Z battle card Cell, man, because he is a 2 Z energy, he is so easy to get out. Yes, it's 3 energy, but the fact that it has deflect, critical, and you bottom deck everything that has 5 or less, and then the activate main where you get to restand it pretty much at any point, And gains triple strike if you have 4 or more underneath it is just ridiculous. I've played this card so many times at this point that it is just pure value town. And like in this deck, it is a 2 cost. So you cannot tell me that a 2 cost deflect critical bottom deck everything 5 or less that restands for 25k crit is a bad thing. Like this card, I love this card. It is crazy that it is just a rare, that is for sure. All right, last support cards here is that you have to make the decision. Do I want to stop the turn, or do I want to be the turn? That is the thing. This is Kaioken Goku, the newest SCR, which I love the art. I love this form. Is my second favorite form, first favorite form. That's one of those. Right behind Super Saiyan God Goku. But this is so good. Like the fact that like by turn 4 that is basically free, it has deflect and it has triple attack, so you can just go aggressive. I swung through Mecha Frieza because I got to untap 4. I swung through Imposing Presence because it is a 35k, well, yeah, 35k, 30k, and 25k swing, which are all not bad swings. Like just because you're trying to swing through a floodgate, and you're playing blue, so you can just Trunks God Ceiling any of their defensive topo type things going on. But this guy is so good. I really do like him. I don't think it's like super cracked. I think super cracked is a baby hatch that you can just stop a turn, but they can't cooler this, so there you go. And I really just like it because you can do shenanigans where you basically use up all your energy, go down on 1 energy, swing bean, tap 2 for this guy, untap 4. You basically have another turn and on all the energy to use afterwards. So I really like Kaioken. I highly recommend it to try it if you have not tested or are not considering it, I should say. 17 or 18 is just like I was saying before. You can do shenanigans with Z energy in a deck that requires it and kind of needs it. 17 and 18 is really good for any of the mono blue decks coming up for Zenkai, basically for anything that has Z battle cards or Z leaders. So I think this is really good. Don't really need to say much about it. Everybody knows. On that same front where the Trunks is searchable by the leader. It is searchable by other cards as well within the archetype, but it is a draw 1 as long as you have a unison. And I've tested both where it's the 4 or less Vegeta, and as well as the Trunks. The Trunks kind of came up sometimes, but it really depends if you draw it or not as far as the unison goes. So don't really like that. It is kind of annoying. Then we have the 1-drop promo Saiyan Synergy, which I haven't checked the prices for these guys, but they're probably a lot higher because they're just like expensive for no reason. I just don't understand why. But like before, but now they have a reason to kind of be a little more expensive. It's a counterattack, and then basically your leader gets a bean for the turn if they swing at the leader. If they swing at this, or if they don't remove it, that is, then it's negating 2 attacks. And it has Goku and Vegeta as a blue battle card, and you can use the Vegito stuff. So highly recommend. Here is my list. I've talked quite a lot, and I do apologize for that, but I'm pretty excited about this deck. Even if this gets like 20 views, like I am very excited about this deck. I'm definitely going to be playing it here and now, but like going quickly through this, the stuff that you don't really or wouldn't really expect. Yes, we're playing that secret rare instead of baby hatch, but those are pretty much interchangeable depending on how your deck functions and as well as the format. But 3 of the God Ceilings, because I'm telling you in this upcoming format, it doesn't even feel like it's worth having God Ceiling, because like everything has a flag. Anything that is worth playing, it has the flag. Trunks is there just for the floodgates at this point. 3 bean, same thing. It feels a little weird having 4 bean now. And like the 3 is kind of the norm. What a weird universe we're in right now. We have 4 of the Unbreakables because it's so easy to get Z energy because of this guy. It replaces itself. Beerus doesn't do it on the defense. You only get the draw 1. It just goes straight to drop. Unbreakable goes to your Z energy. You can awaken early because of it. You don't have a smaller hand because of it, and you get to untap 1 guaranteed. So you always have a reason to use Unbreakable or an option to. 2 of the promos, 3 of the boys, which has been enough. I think if you play 4 probably not that big of a deal. You just have to go down on other stuff. But the reason why I went 3 is because we're already using the interceptors and as well as the calamities as the Vegito good stuff, because you're swinging twice here. And I've done this before where on turn 3 I awaken, you play the 3, bottom deck 2 other cards, swing twice for 20k, awaken, untap 1, go into calamity, and then right after that you can go into soaring blow. And I I cannot wait for the memes of soaring blow in my comments. Man, I forgot about that. But that is one of the plays that I usually do. 2 of the infinite radiance by turn 4. It is not a bad time to just go right into the boy, just like if these guys survive, for instance, or if you have these guys in the energy. And then we also have just totem gates. The Sane Instincts is nice because you're just going to be untapping 1 anyway, so it's just a 1-cost Sane Instincts. You can probably play 4 of these and still be okay, but just be careful if you're going to be using the ramp stuff, the newer cards, or any of the other ramp quote-unquote stuff from top deck. Dirty Burst in the main, and then Trunks just because he's really good. I will admit that that list is still in a work in progress, but I think I've been enjoying it like the last dozen games or so. I think there are going to be a lot of different lists. You know, there's going to be a lot of, like I said, generic lists or Vegito focused lists, which you'll have to pretty much either commit to it or choose the good Trunks supported cards that have Vegeta and Goku that are blue. But the thing is about those cards, I'm telling you, is that the more that you add, the less useful they'll become. So I think maybe the top deck cards where you can tap 2 and then you can add it to energy, or the other cards where you can grab 1 and then top deck it into energy might be good too, because then you can play Boot earlier, you can play Calamity Charger earlier, you can use an Interceptor earlier, just those type of things, and you can use your SCR earlier. So there's a lot of different ways you can take this deck, but either way, like I said, I've talked enough. Let me know in the comments below. Go vote on the poll in the community tab as well, and I'll see you in the next one.